them come. This is their fate.
All right. Let me get my bourbon hands in there. All right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. I am your host, Deontay, here with my near and dear friends, Jalen and Josh. As usual, we got some topics. GamesCom just kind of wrapped the opening night live, so right on time for you guys to learn more about our bad takes on video games and what we like and what we don't like. But hey, you signed up for this when you click the button. Jalen, Josh, before we get started as usual, tell the people how you doing, how you been, how's life going, what you up to, what you been playing. Give them all the good, juicy details of your life.
Yeah, this week's been pretty chill. Not much going on other than it just being like bad weather here, and I guess that's the same everywhere. It just
bad weather, yeah,
flooding, yeah. But yeah, other than that, just trying to keep up with all these games coming out. Armored Core, I think it's either this week or next week, and then Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a backlog, it's your last chance to finish it, because the rest of the year you're gonna be busy with a bunch of brand new games. And we gonna talk about it, but I just saw the Cyberpunk trailer, and now I want to play that too. Like prepare for DLC, but I don't know when I'm ever gonna have time for that game. But yeah, I'm just finishing up the Divinity games, Divinity 1 and 2, before I move on to Baldur's Gate 3 because it's the same developer. Finished Divinity 1. I'd say I love the first half of the game, but the second half it just kept dragging on and kept going and going. Finally finished it, but what I can say, I started Divinity 2 right after, like literally the same day, and even though I got like tired of the first game, the second game is just so good, like at the beginning, that I'm excited to just jump right straight into it. I thought I would need a break, but I guess not.
That boy's a madman. That's them games long, ain't they? Like real long or no?
Well, yeah, I mean, they can be. The first one I finished in like 60 hours because I didn't know what I was doing. The second one probably took about the same.
Baldur's Gate game's too long, G. I ain't playing back-to-back Personas. It's like going Persona 3 to Persona 4 back-to-back. Yeah, psych.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to, but these games do have co-op, and Baldur's Gate 3 does have like co-op, split screen and online. And so I think it'll be, a fun thing to play with somebody. It's just I don't know how I'm going to play 60 hours with somebody else. Like maybe we'll play a little bit here and there, but I can't sit through a whole game with somebody else. But
is it cross play, or is it just like you gotta be on the same platform?
Yeah, it's cross play, and it's also cross save. And Divinity 2 is on the iPad and Steam and Switch, and they all have cross save. Baldur's Gate 3 as well. I think they said when it launches on consoles, it will also have cross save.
Nice, interesting. Yeah, that game is like, I want to play it, but I got plenty of other things I gotta beat, and I'm sitting on Diablo 4 waiting on a time. I don't even know when, but I'm probably not gonna play that for a while either. It's just a unfortunate turn of events, but we get to them at some point. Probably at the end of the year, I try to just go through and beat everything that I missed out on for the year. Okay, well, anything else you want to share with the people? Josh, no? Alrighty. Well, moving on. What about you, Jalen? What you been up to? What you been doing?
Boy, he got abducted, didn't he?
Yeah, he got abducted.
That's why. Shoot, I ain't been on nothing, honestly. What did I do? I ain't really been on nothing. I mean, we've been playing a little bit of Overwatch. I was trying to get y'all lately and stuff, man. I ain't trying to play with me, but it's night though.
First off, when I can find the time, you always call it late. I'm like, man, you gotta set that up in the morning. Say we gonna get on. What time? Like I always forget, or I'm like get into some other crap, and then I'm stuck at the middle of the night trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for myself, and I don't really want to play Overwatch at that point. I just want to sit there and look at the sky.
Right, these excuses, man. These what you call real friends.
That's how the day end for me, man. I be sitting there I'm in the days, man. There's too much going on. But yeah,
I was one day I was trying to hop on with y'all, and then you said you were playing, and then I think we both fell asleep, right? It was like 10 minutes. It's like, yeah, we hop on, we sleep. That's the next morning I'm really trying to go to work again.
He said, "What's that? What you playing right now? Sleepy Souls?"
Like, my bad, I fell asleep. I'm like, hey, y'all, we ain't used to be like this. We done got older, and that sleep, and they been snatching us up, man.
Sleepy Souls,
well, I always been falling asleep, but yeah. But other than that, I
enjoying this season.
Though you said what? The season?
Yeah, Jay, I've been enjoying this season. You've been playing it a lot.
Oh,
I just been enjoying Overwatch. I ain't never stopped. It's just when we started playing some of them dogs, I'm just looking like, all right, bro, just gotta stop.
Yeah, so it's still happening.
Dropped to ELO.
They finally dropped his ELO. They reset it after 2 seasons. We did drop that one for a few seasons, didn't we?
Back with the broke boys.
Anything else?
I ain't been doing nothing. I think I had went to Maryland, and that's really about it. That's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, that's really about it. So nothing too special.
Mm-hmm.
Said I'm gonna get back to Final Fantasy. Still ain't good yet, but I'll get to it eventually. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
it's just not that captivating, huh? I'm leaving.
It's hard, but. Like I said last week, I was hurt by what happened in that show or the game. So.
Oh yeah. You did say that. Yeah. Well, get back to it, man. Let me know what you think. But all right, I've been chilling. Getting the house prepared for family coming up. And Labor Day, so we've been doing a lot of house at work and activities. So that's why I've been tired and not being able to time for the other stuff. But playing wise, I've been playing, Overwatch with you guys. I haven't turned on any of my backlog yet. I still playing Zelda. Like, me and Karina still going at that, but I ain't really been playing nothing else. Zelda's a big game anyway, so it takes a minute. I can rush through it, but I'd rather not. And that's probably what's slowing me down from beating all the other games that are a little bit more linear, because this game is, oh, you did that? Oh, let me go find how to do that and go there and do this too. And then, oh, you just did that? Well, let me stop and show you how to get this. So it's just a bunch of that. So it's helpful because we plan it together. So it feels like we hanging out more than, just sitting around playing it separately, because that game is just so abundantly random that you will probably find something that someone else didn't do every 5 seconds. So yeah, we've been playing that, and I just been chilling. I ain't really been doing nothing, but I've been impulse man. There's a few impulses that have popped up. I ain't gonna tell Jalen about them because he just judge people, but it's some stuff.
All ears. I got a third ear for this.
I got some. I'm just adding to the pile. G, just add it to the pile. That's all you need to know. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm making decisions as if I got more time. Well, I did make this decision because of time, so we'll talk about it. But I really just I have time off during next week, so I did end up spending $35 to get to play Starfield earlier because I have 4 days off. I didn't want to do that because I wanted to play Mortal Kombat, and I was like, I'd rather just buy Mortal Kombat. But then I was like, which one do I really want to play more right now? And that's where I was like, I just spend the 35 and get it a little early, so that way I can actually enjoy it for a little bit. I mean, I could take time off, but I just don't feel like I want to take time off for Starfield right now. I'm just going to use the time I already allocated for the family visit. But then again, it's the family visit, so I'm like, I'm not going to be playing Starfield that long. Maybe the last 2 days, maybe before they get here, but it ain't going to be abundantly enough time to be like, I'm playing Starfield every day. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that looks. I haven't did it yet. I've been waiting. I'm holding off. I was like, no. But I did buy the controller. That controller is fire, G. I don't care. That's the first one with the translucent or with the transparent triggers. I was like, bro, this thing too cold not to be bought right now. So, yeah, it's coming on Friday. So a few impulses got me. I mean, but the controller, I just like it. I can't not buy that controller. That controller is dope. So, yeah, that's my my confessions there. These are my confessions, Usher. But yeah.
And when they was sale this time, it was just I had to have it.
Yeah, man.
I mean, the control look nice. I wish that it was. I mean, I know that they don't really do it, but I prefer the Elite. But the normal controller is just nice. I just got a couple backups already, so I'm not gonna buy a new controller.
Yeah, that was my whole thing. I have backups right now, and I was like, I don't need it, but I want it, so I just did it. And you know, it is what it is. Obviously, it was I had to contemplate that decision. I was like, hey, it's $85 for a controller. I don't know about that, but it is what it is. So yeah, I got the controller, but it's nice. I like it. That's worth it to me, sort of. I still don't like that I'm paying that much, but it's whatever.
Jalen, they said, treat yourself.
Yeah, treat myself, I suppose. But okay, let's get into some topics now that the confessions are over with, and y'all know what we've been doing. We just been not really doing what we supposed to be doing. Josh is more so the only one that's been doing what he's supposed to do, trying to finish his backlog. I just have been trying to finish one game, and it ain't working. But I'm having fun. But yeah, let's talk about GamesCom. That's the big ticket right now. Where do we want to start? I mean, I could start with stuff that wasn't a part of GamesCom but came out today that I thought was interesting, or we could just start going down some of the trailers that came out of it and thoughts. Where do you want to start?
I don't know. I've seen most of the GameCom stuff, so we can jump into that. Or if it's some news, I guess, that is big enough that you feel like we want to cover now.
Mm-hmm. No, nothing too major. Nothing too major that I would want to cover. It's just more so about all the stuff that was surrounding it and things like that. But I guess the biggest thing for me that I know a lot of people might be interested in is Destiny's 2, the Final Shape reveal trailer, and their VidCon that they did that was like 42 minutes talking about that, plus the upcoming season. Did you see any of that?
No.
Okay, well now I gotta hold it down. Now I have to hold it down for. I have to hold it down for the Destiny 2 fans. Like the amount of information that came out of that was pretty extensive, so I'm not finna pretend like I know all of it, but what I will say is that Final Shape has new powers. They're gonna have like Void, Arc, and Solar Supers, new array of them basically that change for them. Titan's gonna have a first final like projectile. I guess it's not their first projectile because they had the shield, but it's going to be an axe where they can literally toss it. And it's going to be like 3 of those, and then people can go and pick them up and use them. But they have some really cool synergy stuff they're trying with the 3 supers. They're now allowing people that have lower light levels to play with people with higher light levels. So if we had Trials of Osiris or these in-game content, the stuff that people can play, if one of their friends is more passionate versus others. So just saying, I'm not playing this game no more, but if I was, I would be that friend that would bring you guys up with me, obviously. But they do have that now. I don't know if it's now yet, but it's like I don't know if this is season 22 or this is season 23, but it's coming in season 23. They also have things like reworks of exotics. They're bringing back old content, pretend like it's new. They still have those tropes in there. They still have things like that. Final Shape seem like they're going to have some better writing. They are moving from a season type of system to what they call episodes, and they will be able to be played without having any prior knowledge to the other episodes. So it's kind of as if you were some big massive event happened, but you had 3 different stories that occurred from those events that you take part in, but that they're basically they're concealed and they stay within that realm without having to have some type of magical event affect something else. You know what I mean? Like that by episodic. That's what they're trying to go for, where they're no longer 4 seasons but 3 episodes a year, and they have time between those episodes that kind of give you a story and a lot of cadence and things that they normally would do, exotics, different events, different types of activities, blah blah blah, dungeons, blah blah blah. So that might be better than the seasons. I hated seasons because every time they would come, I would not know what was going on, nor did I was interested in trying to figure out what was going on. So maybe the episodes might be a little bit more easy to digest because they are going to be this more focused thing where, yes, they're going to have activities in it, but maybe they're going to just provide you campaign or something missions that you can use those, get a little bit of understanding, and they're not tying into everything. So the real big event that you want to come back for that is going to impact what the episodes are is that main DLC versus it's kind of just like seasons, but seasons was kind of too little not big enough for me to care. And when they did have bigger moments, I wasn't interested in that moment to kind of go back and pay attention. So those things are good. They're going to have certain things like the Red Death, like I said, the Kovastov and the Dragon's Breath come back. They're going to also be doing like certain. They were talking about actually bringing in supers, not Radiants, unfortunately. I wish they would bring back self-revive. That would break the game again, and that'd be fun for me at least to go back in and try it. But they're doing things like allowing certain people and they wanted to bring in healing into the game and provide someone with an exotic that does some healings to the teammates. So maybe it's just as powerful to have this exotic that heals to a divinity or something else like that would be of that caliber if someone needs to have it on the team. So maybe we can have better role playing versus just having someone find the best power. Maybe they just have a role they play. So they want to build out that fantasy or whatever. So from what I heard, it sounds good. It sounds interesting enough for me to take a look at it. They're going to be going to a destination that is called the Pale Heart, which basically is inside the Traveler, and it's going to have a lot of the older places. Basically, they're going to be reusing some content, but it's gonna look cool. So if you're I hate to do this and try to break it down in this little box, but that it is what it is. I'm not saying you can dress it up how you want, but overall they're still giving you old content in a new way. And it's cool because that is what sold me on the game anyway, the nostalgic parts of it. That will bring me back for a moment. It's just what will you do in that moment after? Like there's really nothing that like I was going to buy Lightfall and play the campaign until everything came out that it sucked. So if Final Shape can bring back a campaign, a true campaign, and be fun, I have no problem just playing the campaign. Honestly, I don't need to interact with the world in that way no more, where I'm just grinding out things and doing every little thing in the game. I don't need that. That's not what's fun for me for Destiny anymore. It is very much so, moment to moment missions that I enjoyed or have fun in, and there is a cadence to maybe getting some type of loot as you're playing, but it really never mattered to me about completing everything, and I gave that up a long time ago. So yeah, I just think what I can say about the Final Shape is that it looks a lot better than Lightfall, and I would expect them to try to right the wrongs of what they did in Lightfall, because as of now, everybody is just second guessing their ability to drive this home. So we'll see what they can do. No promises, but overall, that looked it decent. What I was seeing looked it decent, and they were talking about more so having a linear path for your storytelling and for the open world, so it doesn't feel as if you're running in a big circle. They wanted to go through this entire world, and as you get closer and closer to the witness, it becomes weirder and weirder, because again, you're shaping the world as you're going through it, but so is the witness, and he's been there a little bit longer, so he's been doing crazy weird stuff. But you're going to see these older places that you've been and traveled through and been through because of how you are now shaping the traveler as you go through it. So it's a cool concept, and hopefully they deliver on that set concept. But that's all I had. The reveal trailer was dope. I mean, K6 being back doesn't really do much for me, but that's a nice additive. But really, what's going to drive me back to the game is a great story and plentiful loot. Like, I don't really want to be strung out on trying to figure out where the next thing coming from, when I should just feel like I'm always getting something. And I want you to take away every blue in the game. I want you to just give me legendaries and exotics. And if you can't do that, then I'm not having fun. So it just give me the tools to build out an arsenal that I would enjoy, especially give me the tools that would allow me to build that fantasy build that I want to play with anyway. Because once that is where I have the most fun, once I'm past the grind. And if you have any ways to get past it, let me know. I'm just not gonna pay for it. But this is what they were presenting today. Any thoughts on Destiny 2 before I move on? I know you guys didn't see it, didn't think about it, never even thought about Destiny in a long time. But any thoughts on this before we move on?
No, but I hope that what you mentioned with them trying to, I guess, present the story in a more easily digestible manner is good, because as somebody who's been out of Destiny for a long time, like I struggle to even think about like how am I going to get in, because with this issue of Destiny is that they got these seasons and things keep coming, but also content keeps leaving. So like I don't know I'm going to jump in and get the weapons that I like and the exotics that I like and play the content that I like when the game is just constantly shifting. Hopefully them being like, okay, this is sort of not a fresh start, but like these episodes are points where you can just jump in and not have to look at this giant web of content connections and story as well. But we'll see. I mean, I've been out of Destiny so long that I'm curious to like jump in to see what it's like, but right now it's just too much to even consider.
Yeah, I think they
At least
still
by
have to
myself.
figure
If
out
it was
that
playing
whole.
with like whole friends and stuff, you can have fun with your friends, but the game itself is confusing.
Yeah, it's they have to figure out that problem. Really, the main problem to figure out is how do they engage new players in a way that makes them feel welcomed, because right now it's just not how many systems you bring in. The more systems you bring in, the more convoluted it becomes. And they had the right idea when they tried to minimize and make it less of when they were first introduced Destiny 2, but unfortunately you had already baked in a lot of content. So when you did that and you kind of shortened it back so much, it felt like a slap in the face of the dedicated players. But they had a smart idea of trying to make sure that it was a more of a not so grindy casual game that new players can join into. But they have now created a behemoth that they don't really know how to fix. So everybody got a problem with something, and they still neglect PvP. So it's just a cluster of craziness. But overall, that's our takes on Destiny. Play it if you play it. Don't if you don't. I mean, it's really not that hard to ignore it. And it's not that hard to play it. You just have to want to, and you have to actually educate yourself on all of their systems, because if you don't, you're going to be lost. All right, let me move on to something I'm interested in this story trailer, man. It just keeps getting better and better for this game for me. Lords of the Fallen. I think this game is going to be a really good game. And I know everybody's hating on it. I know IGN suck at games. But I feel like narratively, this is far better than anything I've seen from Software. And I just think that maybe, just maybe, that could be what they accomplish more on. It's just story. And then, I think that cinematic story trailer that they provided or put out today was just very much so the vibes I'm looking for in these types of weird games. I think what they need to nail is the narrative, and as long as they do, a decent, job at the combat, I think this is a win. I like their creepy atmosphere. I like the whole going between realms. I like the whole idea of that. So, I mean, that's something that they were playing with Bloodborne when you kind of got the moon or whatever it was that you kind of unlocked. Was it the Blood Moon or something when you started seeing the monsters? I forget what happened. Anywho, it kind of played with that concept of having two different worlds, or two different types of worlds in the same game, but this is going to be like literally the world on top of another, and you're going to be able to change in between them and kind of see the underworld and then now see it's just, I think it's a cool concept. The story trailer, y'all should check it out. I think it's pretty dope. And it has some good cadence to it that makes me feel like they're going to actually do something good with it. I'm not going to say that it's going to be like no 9 or 10. I think it's going to be like a good solid 7 or 8. But I think based off what I'm seeing, they have put the time in, the effort, and, we always love a good redemption story. I think that's going to be a cool game.
Is it the same main character?
I don't think so. No, I think everything's new. Kind of feels like on a level of Final Fantasy 14 when they kind of blew up the world. Because they still a continuation of the story, but it's supposed to be explainable, right? At least that's what I've heard. Where the world they're continuing the story in a cool way. So I don't know. I think the between Lies of P and this one, I think Lords of the Fallen has jumped above Lies of P. I really like Lies of P too, but I really think Lords of the Fallen is going to be the one that truly stands out above the competition. And I'm not saying it's going to be better than any of those other games. From Software, Elden Ring is solidified and stamped for the rest of its days. I'm talking about more so like comparable to a Dark Souls 2, maybe. Not a Dark Souls 3. I like Dark Souls 3, but it's comparable to those types of games where you can actually have a good time. I think it's going to be above Surge 2, all of those other copycats that really don't do much different. But this is going to have its own unique style, and I think the narrative is going to take it to the next level. I have a feeling about it. I feel like they're nailing a lot of things in the right spots, and maybe I'm just crazy, but I don't see this production level coming from these types of games often. So I don't know who gave them money, because the show wasn't the sales from the last game. But whatever happened, well, whoever invested,
Surge did pretty well.
No, it didn't. Lord of the Fallen.
Well, they made Surge too, but no, the developers, they made the Surge.
These developers didn't make the Surge.
Deck
Focus?
13?
No, it was Focus Entertainment that made that Surge. Who made the Surge? I could have sworn it was Deck. I could have sworn
Surge.
Deck 13. They did make the Surge.
Oh, my bad. So it's confusing because of the name. Deck 13 made the original Lords of the Fallen. They didn't make the new one. Deck 13 just came out with that other game, Atlas Fallen, that came out like a month ago.
Oh, so who made Lords of the Fallen the new one?
The Lords of the Fallen is somebody else.
Oh.
Wait, is y'all saying Robo Souls and Lords of the Fallen made by the same people?
No, the developers on Lords of the Fallen, the new one is Hexworks and Defiant Studios. Previously, it was Deck 13.
But Hexworks, I think, is a new company.
I had no idea Deck 13 was the same company that made Lords of the Fallen. Why the heck did I play the Surge? Why did I give it a shot? That's interesting. Because I definitely hated Lords of the Fallen. So I must have been just liking the concept. I don't know. That's interesting. But Lords of the Fallen itself, I mean, I had no shade. Deck 13 got me in. I liked the Surge and Surge 2. Not that much, but I liked them enough. So it's not like they didn't make a decent game. But this game looks like it's on a different level and a different caliber. So I'm interested. Any thoughts on the Lords of the Fallen possibly Souls-like game of the year?
Of the year, I don't know. I'll say the positive stuff I saw about it, that obviously they are inspired by the Souls games, but I think they did a good job of like capturing the like look and style of the combat. Like it looks very good graphically and also like animation and movement wise. Like it looks like it fits in the same world. And so on that point alone, I'm interested into it. But with these type of games, you always get into the same issue where it's like it's so similar in a lot of ways to the Souls games that you're going to directly compare it to the Souls games, and then it becomes like, do I prefer how they do the stats? Do I prefer how they do the equipment or the bosses and stuff like that? And that's not a good place for a developer to be in, because you want them to like judge your game based on solely on its own. But yeah, but you're like kind of in the shadow of the Souls games. Them having like a narrative or things like that to make it feel different is good. It's just, I don't know, with these dark fantasy games, it's kind of hard to make a narrative that you care about, because it's not like characters that you care about. You just, following the world and then the world falling apart and stuff like that. So we'll see. I'm just saying that it's hard to juggle. That being said, so far they have shown like a good game that's worth playing. So I at least check it out if it's on sale at some point. Because the last game like this I played was Mortal Shell, which was only $30. I liked it a lot, but like I'm happy it didn't cost more than $30 because it just, you know, everything didn't land that they were trying to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think I had Mortal Shell, but I never played it. Like I think I got it free from PlayStation. Yeah, it's just more so about what type of the granular details for me. Like I always appreciate someone taking their attention to detail, and that's something else that we could probably talk about. But it's all rumors right now. But you know, the attention to detail that that they're saying Starfield took to interior and the design of the worlds and what they were doing with the planets and stuff like that. But it's all speculation, so I don't really want to talk about Starfield until the game comes out. But those types of things I really appreciate. And of course, you get those from those top tier play. I'm not talking about graphics. I'm talking about literally just precision on details, like things that people would not care about, like even like cloth movement, like the motion animations, the like the only thing that I can knock Lords of the Fallen right now for is their hit contact. I feel like it's just weak. I think it needs to have like a more of a thud or weight to it. Right now I just feel like you're floating through the enemy and not actually making strong contact with them as you hit them. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of sound or rumble effect to make that sell that better, but animation wise, it does not look good. So, those types of things, that's the only thing I've seen out where it's like not as good as the rest of it. So, but presentation wise, focus on cinematics, the world looks really cool. I think they have a really good narrative. The actual voice acting sounds really good. I just think it's going to be an interesting place to be. I've seen a lot of the cutscenes, and I think it's going to be dope. Whatever it is, I just think it's going to be cool. So, I'm going to praise you up, Lords of the Fallen.
If you kind of interested into it, do your research, look at the trailers. Just don't watch IGN gameplays, because I watched it. It was like 10 minutes, and they just made that game look so boring. But I think, checking out the trailers and stuff the developer made will probably look a lot better.
Yeah, you really want to wait till some gameplay drop, like some real good gameplay, or maybe even maybe when reviews come out. I mean, these are those types of games where unfortunately you want to hold off until you get more confirmation if they made a good game. But to me, I'm hyped for it at least. Okay, well, let's move on to another game that was really high up there on my list, and I saw, and I thought was really, really cool. Mortal Kombat 1's story trailer. Even though I'm not, I keep going back and forth. You know this game gonna be in my. I know this game is gonna be in my hands by the time it come out because of the FOMO. But right now, I'm still under the state of I'm not buying it. But this story trailer, Gene, did you watch the story trailer?
Yeah, I watched it. All their story trailers been good so far.
Yeah, this main one that just came out like 3 hours ago or something like that. It just really captured the cadence of the game, but it also showed their technology at its full. It showed it at its full capacity, animation wise, the voice acting, the style of the shots, the cinematics, it just, all of it looked so freaking cool. And I'm just like, did they focus too much on the coolness of how it looks and not, but at the same time they show combos and them things go crazy. So I'm just like, this game, like, it's gonna be top tier from the whole presentation down to the combat, down to the things. But you know me, I'm very much so, I'm very much so more into Street Fighter than I am into Mortal Kombat. So, but I also know I also like Mortal Kombat, so it's not like I gotta choose. I just don't. I just know I got two fighters that I'm just not going to like give it my all. Basically, this is something that when friends come over or family members, they probably going to gravitate more towards Mortal Kombat than they would Street Fighter. But I don't know. I every time I see something new, this game impresses me more and more. But at the same time, I always feel like something is lacking. And I played the beta, and I'm not saying that the beta was bad. I'm just saying that when I played it, I don't know why I started comparing it to Street Fighter, because they're totally different freaking games. But I was comparing it, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just been playing it for what it was, which is Mortal Kombat. If anything, you can probably compare it to Injustice because they be going crazy now. People be flying in the air, they doing all types of combos, all that type of jazz. But yeah, I don't know. What's your thoughts on Mortal Kombat, Josh? What are you thinking about when you think about Mortal Kombat?
I mean, the story trailers always look good, and I think that is the thing that's drawing me to it, because I really liked Mortal Kombat. Well, all of them, but like I like 9, 10, and 11. Like them having a continuous story that is obviously silly and goofy, but they seem like they care about it and they put a lot of time and like effort into it. And it's honestly like a really good universe that they've built. So with the new one, it looks really nice. I'm interested to see what they're doing with all the characters. The gameplay is not really drawing me in because it's Mortal Kombat gameplay, which is always kind of like, I don't want to say casual because people play it competitively, but it's meant for everybody to play it. Like me to play it with my little brother and my cousin and stuff like that. Everybody to have fun, do fatalities, and watch how like goofy and gory the game is. Like, but as far as like fine-tuned mechanics, I've never enjoyed it as much. And 11, yeah, it's one, everybody looks stiff, but it's also very floaty, so it makes it like very kind of weird. Whereas Street Fighter is super, super precise. Like I know exactly how many steps it's going to take for me to get close to my 9. She can grab me from this range, and like it's easy for me to like feel the deep mechanics behind it and the precision. But I mean, that's fair. Mortal Kombat is a different thing, and it's also like the best selling fighting game franchise ever, because it has the money and the story to back it up. Because that draws people in. So I'm gonna get it when it's on sale. I know that I'm only gonna play the story, so I'm not gonna spend $70 on just the story. But when it's on sale, like $50 or something, or maybe next year once all the DLC is out, I'll pick it up and play through it. But yeah, it's gonna be a skip for me, especially because like I still want to keep playing Street Fighter and like get good at it, but like I have no interest at getting good at Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, like this definitely gonna be one of them years where I have a lot of Black Friday games I'm probably going to pick up, something like around Cyber Monday, something like that, where I'm looking for certain particular games, because I still haven't purchased or played a decent amount of games that came out this year that I wanted to purchase. So, yeah, I think unfortunately Mortal Kombat is going to get that same treatment, along the lines of waiting, but who knows what'll happen. But I do know that I plan to skip it. I plan to not play it because I know I'm going to be invested in that. I'm invested in Starfield, and I'm going to be invested in Cyberpunk. Like those are going to be played immediately. I know for a fact. I just don't know what the other ones are going to be. So it's tough to say. And with a lot of games coming out, obviously, a big one that I'm probably going to ignore as well, Spider-Man. But Uh, it's not that I'm going to ignore it because I didn't have fun in the first game. Like the first game was more. It's all cinematic. It's all. Yeah, I mean, I can't say I don't enjoy the Spider-Man games. And I love me a single player, quick to the end, type of game. I don't know. I really am not. I'm kind of spideyed out, and I'm kind of mad at Into the Spider-Verse a little bit for how they left us. So I mean, I'm over Spider-Man right now. I play it a little bit later, but I don't really need to pick it up immediately.
I mean, I'll say that that's fair. The stuff they've shown of the game looks good, but for me, it's nothing like new or exciting. Because I would say that Spider-Man fans in the last generation have been eating good. They got several movies, they got several games, they got Spider-Verse, which is crazy on its own, covering all Spider-Man ever. So
Yeah.
I feel like you're not missing Spider-Man.
No, I'm not at all.
Yeah. I mean, not to say the game is not going to be good, because I still eventually want to check them out. I guess all three games, but yeah, them coming out very short time is good for people who enjoy that, but you can easily get tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've gotten a lot of Spidey over the last couple of years, and it's nothing no hate against it. I really think it's gonna be a good game. I just I don't need to play it right now. I think there's plenty of other things that I'm be interested in playing that don't cost me $70 by the time they come out. Like I'm still trying to figure out when I'm gonna play Dead Island. Like I'll probably play that one if I get it for sale, like $20. I'm probably play that over that because I just want to play something that I truly will enjoy, and I love me a zombie game for some reason still. So I'm playing me that. I play a little bit of Dying Light 2 with the night mode, but unfortunately, when you go back to a game and you haven't played it for a while, it kind of takes a minute for you to get back into it, and I got other stuff to play, so it just feel like I'm never gonna catch up. That's what I'm trying to get across, but me adding more to the plate is not worth it at this point. And I think Spider-Man would be great, and October is a little bit away, so I can always change my mind, but right now I feel like that's gonna be another one of those things. No information on Spider-Man came out this week, so it's not like it's warranted for me to be talking about it. I just kind of want to talk about the games that I'm probably going to be looking around on Black Friday or Cyber Monday for, to kind of see if they got some sales going on, just check out. Maybe I can get 2 games for the price of 1. That's really what I'm looking for. I don't really care to try to get like a deep sale. Just maybe I can get 2 games for the price of 1. $70 games is just a lot, especially when you don't have the time to beat them, and that's what really kind of gets me. I'm like, I ain't even going to play this game right now. So that is the cadence I'm trying to stop, or at least that's the behavior I'm trying to stop. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of good games to play this year, guys. I'm like, you have no reason you are being fed well this year. Modern Warfare 3 coming out with the maps from Modern Warfare 2. Like, granted, I like 4 maps on Modern Warfare 2, but I'm pretty sure I only liked it 4 because I'd never played that game like heavy. I played it a few times, and I played like for a good month or 2 straight, but for Modern Warfare 2 to be getting revamped maps, them having an open world zombies, it sounds like something I'd find some enjoyment in. And I actually beat the campaign on the last one, so I'm looking to see what they do with the next one. It wasn't a bad campaign. It wasn't like blew me away, but it's like Call of Duty. What do you expect? I think that they have a very good knack for making great looking video games or great looking campaigns. Sometimes they can match the cadence and like the how you want to play the game, but they also just was talking about how now you can choose how you want to play. You want to play stealth, you want to go in loud. But I was like, I'm pretty sure I could do that in Modern Warfare 2. I'm pretty sure that's how we did those missions. So I'm not sure if they're trying to resell it as if it's new or if they really did change something about the missions, because I remember literally playing multiple missions where they were like, you can go in quiet or you can go in, and we had multiple ways to enter a building and things like that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Modern Warfare 3. I don't know if I'm going to get it immediately, but I think Modern Warfare, if y'all get it, I get it. But I'm pretty sure, I don't know if that's going to be the selling point for real.
I don't know. Call of Duty is always a big ask because it's going to be a new one next year, and we're going to have to switch to that one. But I wanted to ask you, because like for me, the trailer for Modern Warfare 3 doesn't look like anything I'm interested in it, because the mission that they showed is literally the first mission from the old game. Like obviously some stuff is a little different, but you going into the prison to break somebody out of the prison. In which in the old game it was Captain Price. I don't know if it's gonna be Captain Price this time, but you're doing the same stuff. With the last game, I know you didn't play a lot of Modern Warfare 2, but do you feel like they're telling the same stories, just quote unquote better, or are they actually doing different stories? Like for example, in 2, did they attack America and then you're like fighting at the White House?
No.
So they are,
but you have to go rogue. Yeah, you're not doing any of that. No, you're like more so fighting a militia, and it's like some government agents that are turned bad basically, and you have to now, you're like this rogue group of people that you're going back and you're trying to take back some of or stop some of the terror acts that they're going to be trying to complete. So it's definitely not the same story, but I don't remember Modern Warfare 2 anyway. I just don't, I remember I ain't never go fight in a White House or nothing like that. I just was fighting at this militia base, or this US base that was taken over by, because we were stationed there. They got taken over by this guy, came in, but he was working with the cartel, and then we ended up having to go back and kind of take it back and liberate the location and some other stuff. But we were basically rogue because the government didn't want to help us because they wanted them there or something like that. So it was kind of like that.
So it is telling a different story, because 2 was about like Russia invading the U.S. and half the game take place like in Washington and stuff like that. And then 3, they pick up on that where you still fighting in like New York. So if they're telling a different story, I might, because I wanted to check out 2. I might play 2. If I play through 2 and I like it, then maybe I'll consider 3. But it's just, I don't know, confusing with so many Call of Duty games coming out. Like, it's hard to get attached to one where I feel like I'm excited. So
no,
because at the end of the day, I kind of just want to play Warzone and then that's it. But y'all didn't like Warzone 2, so he didn't play it.
Nah, Jalen didn't like Warzone 2. He said he was done with that game because of stuff, all the changes that were made that nobody knew about but Jalen. Jalen was talking about, I think it was like bunny hopping or some movement stuff. He didn't like the sprint anymore. I think it was like 3 other things, but yeah, I mean, Call of Duty to me was still, at least the Warzone was still, it was still in the same space that it was when I first was introduced. Warzone 1 and Warzone 2 was the same. I think he got used to the rebirth map and like how fast paced it was. I think they were taking away some of that stuff. Anyways, ever changing. Don't you just love live service games? But yeah, that I think that's what kind of threw him off of that. Okay. Anything else for the good of the group on Modern Warfare 3?
No, it comes out very soon. I feel like they have. I mean, they're going to keep releasing stuff, but they haven't shown a whole lot of it. So I do want to see more, see what
Mm,
they're doing with multiplayer and how they're doing this open world like
mm.
missions and stuff like that. That might change my mind, but yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see. So far, it's another Call of Duty for me.
yeah, yeah. I think the two things that are really keeping me entertained, I mean engaged, is open world zombies and the actual maps. So two things that I usually don't even play. Like I usually just go for the campaign, but if they're going to be bringing back maps that I actually can enjoy, and I know at least for four of them I'm will, but I don't know about the rest. I just know that I haven't played it that often, but they can revamp those. Like that was their peak good maps, so hopefully I feel good about them versus what they've been making lately. I'm just not interested, but they got to revamp it, so they could mess it up too. But yeah, okay. Well, I saw something very interesting today. It was the DLSS 3.5. Did you see that?
No, I know they just came out with 3.0. I didn't know
Yeah,
3.5 is
man.
ready.
These guys are keeping their foot on AMD's neck. So 3.5 just was announced. I don't know if it came out yet, but basically what it does is it it takes ray tracing to the next level for the DLSS. So it it reconstructs it in a way that it doesn't lose detail. Like it looks better than the regular. It looks better than the regular overdrive on a system. Like say for instance, you was playing Cyberpunk and you had overdrive on for ray tracing. The ray tracing with DLSS 3.5, not only does it run better and run smoother, it looks better because of what they're doing with the AI generation of the ray trace, the path tracings, and they're literally being able to map out everything on the scene for the ray tracing, and they're using one AI engine versus how they use like this denoiser to kind of help with that. It's like basically removing the denoiser that's kind of using a lot of the CPU and using this new AI tool that's inside those tensor chips that they no longer need this. And but not only does it boost your performance at points, sometimes it can boost it. They said they wanted to emphasize that it can boost it because it's basically removing all of those tools that's being ran and just replacing it with one main tool, which is the AI component that will upscale the ray tracing and path trace it for you, so that way you can have a better overall image. But yeah, it looked really, really clean. No artifacting. Like their stuff is far superior than AMD's, and I'm worried that they're never going to catch up because they just keep innovating. And I'm definitely, my next GPU is for sure going to be NVIDIA, but I don't know if I'm going to wait until the 5000 series or if I'm just going to get the 4090 when it's cheaper. Because I plan on doing like a big upgrade to my PC in the next 3 years. So that probably is going to be like, it's probably going to be like, depending on where I'm at and what I want to do. Whether or not I'm going to go for the more up to date blah blah blah, or just go stick with a 4090, because I'm not that huge of a gamer on my PC, but because of how Xbox is integrating everything and how we got Game Pass Ultimate and how I can integrate Steam into all this crap, I think it is definitely making me more of a PC player. Obviously, I still hate fiddling with stuff. But I mean, I can see myself getting a little bit more comfortable with using Steam as a buffer from all the crap. As Steam gets a little bit more user friendly, because they have to with their Steam Deck and Steam OS, that I get more comfortable with giving them that, or at least giving them that chance to convert more. So, yeah, I just saw that and thought I thought it was really cool. I mean, anything that they're doing with AI and regeneration and all that stuff, like how they can rebuild a lower image and make it upscale it, I think it's so cool. I really don't get the technology yet. I understand what it's doing, but I just don't get, like, when they give us those little glimpse into their deep dive and what their process is. I always find it enjoyable. But yeah, man, I think DLSS 4 is just gonna be some crazy. It's gonna take you to the whole nother level, and AMD is just not there. Like, there's plenty of artifacting, there's plenty of things that you just see, and I'm super surprised that the councils are still using them as their main. I don't know if there's like a contract, but it's like literally they're still using their custom, CPUs and GPUs. And I'm just like, why? Well, and I guess maybe it is something.
Maybe a compatibility thing where they've been doing it for so long. But yeah, NVIDIA is definitely every year they're pushing it, the envelope on DLSS and reconstruction. Because like I still don't like FSR. Every time I use it on any game, whether it's on my PC or my Steam Deck, it always looks ass. Like in motion, like if you just everything.
If you're sitting still, it was fine. But if you're in motion, it's terrible. I never turn it on. I'm like, well, I'm not turning this crap on. I always turn it off. Like, if I can't get the performance I want, I stream it from my PC. I'm done. So it's just like, I hate it. So yeah, I get exactly what you're saying.
For me, though, the only game that I feel like because like I'm okay with turning down the graphics so that I can have like ray tracing on medium and like a decent frame rate. But the only game that I can't like really push my PC with because it's just too big is Cyberpunk. So something like DLS 3.5 and eventually 4 just keep improving. It makes games like Cyberpunk just like you can just max out the game and still have it playable, which is crazy because that game is already like next gen. Obviously, it came out a few years ago, but it still feels next gen in a lot of ways.
Yeah, like Cyberpunk is that game, and they're like got the super large partnership with them and whatever, and like obviously ray tracing is still far from being as mainstream as they want it to be, but with Unreal Engine 5 around the corner, I think it's going to be something that most people are going to be looking for. It's still a high scale thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's systems doesn't run that. Most of the PCs out there don't run ray tracing. So it's still finding ways to create a need for ray tracing and get people into that systems. So the more that they can do with AI and actually utilizing the performance of that GPU to upscale, it's just going to benefit their cards more and more and more. And it's not as if they only can do it with this DLSS on. They can do it without it too. Like, these cards are super powerful on the high end. So I just think it's really cool. I think NVIDIA is one of my it's them and Microsoft probably one of my favorite companies because they just innovate a lot and they do a lot to change and evolve, for good or bad, whatever it is. I mean, they do have some terrible policies and practices sometimes, but I like NVIDIA just because they simply always are innovating and doing something weird and out of whack, that I feel like I just could never fathom. And they're going to just keep going because they just have all the AI tools. They have all the things that they need to kind of continue to evolve and at a pace that you could never normally do without our tools that in place, like supercomputers and all that good jazz. So I really like what is happening there. I'm just, I'm worried that developers obviously aren't going to be targeting this stuff yet. So it's not as if it's like it's necessary, but I just think that as time goes on, and I get to, dive a little deeper into PC gaming, I think that might be something that I partake in even for a little bit. I mean, I don't necessarily need it. I love the solid performance of my Xbox and PS5, but just having that to be able to compare and even look at and even try out certain games, like I said, with Game Pass Ultimate being something that I can switch between my PC and my Xbox. There's plenty of games that I can possibly try that they push the envelope on the PC that they don't do so on the Xbox. And it's just an easy way to kind of continue to get involved in PC gaming versus having to commit to playing it on here. And like, again, with the Steam Deck having reiterations and things like that, I can have some type of feel of Steam OS performance and feel like there's in a box and not so much crap going on that I'm trying to use for personal tools and, getting actual real work done. So, I'm liking it.
Sorry to jump in. I started using NVIDIA Broadcast for any audio or video recording I have to do, and that's just their software plugin, sort of, that it can hijack whatever input is coming in, either your camera or your microphone, and send it out to something else like OBS. But it uses AI to improve like your voice, take out the background noise. Nice. For the camera, like I have a pretty basic like $30 camera, but it uses AI to keep you in focus. So no matter where you lean or turn, the AI will use your basic camera to face track you, and it's actually really good, as well as take out the background. So NVIDIA Broadcast is, as far as it's free, but I don't know if it works on all graphics cards. But if you do have an NVIDIA one, that's like a really, really good software that will take your like video and audio recording to like a more professional level.
Yeah, I remember seeing that too. And it
does eye tracking too, but I don't use it. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I'm not going to. Eye tracking's a little weird, especially when they can make it where you're still looking at the camera even though you're not. Like, seen that tool? Yeah. That's creepy.
That's the same thing. Yeah, I don't use that feature, but it has a lot of other cool features that you wouldn't even consider.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just having basic hardware.
Yeah, just from having the hardware. Like, there's a ticket that you get that unlocks all of their AI and software based things from just having that hardware that you can get nowhere else, and that's probably why they're still at the top. So yeah, it's just a lot of cool stuff. I don't know what it takes to get that stuff, but right now I know that it's cool. I don't know what data they collecting or what they doing, but I know it's cool. Okay, well, that was a little random, but I did want to talk about it. Anything else that we want to get into before I move on to the next topic? Anything you guys want to talk about?
You mean next topic away from like Gamescom?
No, not away from Gamescom, but just more so like a topical, maybe a game. It could be from Gamescom, but I could jump around. I always do that.
No, we can move on. If it's something missed, then I'll just bring it up.
Okay. All right. Well, I know did anybody see the other game that was showing off, the Black Myth Wukong? The monkey game.
I did not. That's a game Jalen was looking forward to.
Yeah, they had an extended gameplay of it, and it does look really good. A lot of the combat and everything looks like it's going to be fun. Like the staff positions, it kind of feels as if it's going to be very unique in that way where you can change your stances. But I mean, obviously we had that in Neo, but it's all based around the staff, so you're not going to have like any other weapons. It's just really a staff. So I guess that's what's going to make it like a little bit more unique, but it's this is a game with no character to me. I've seen some of the bosses. The Tiger boss look cool, but it just feels like it has no character. It just has cool things in it. I think them leaning into the modification of animals could be their thing, and it looks like that's what's going to happen. Like, you're going to have animal bosses like a rhino, or you're going to have like a tiger that's a really big buff tiger or something like that. Just pushing into that weirdness of it. Like, you're literally a monkey man. So that weirdness could sell it to the point where it feels unique. But right now it just looks like, pretty souls. It don't really give me no real distinctive difference. What do you said you didn't see the new trailers, right?
No, I didn't see the new trailer. I've seen like their older trailers that they had. And yeah, it does have the Monkey King, like traditional Chinese mythology whole vibe and story going on for it. I think that works for people who are interested into it. Like, I see a lot of people talking about, if you like characters like Luffy or like Goku, then you should be interested in this because they're all inspired by the Monkey King. And while that is true, it's sticking pretty like close to that mythology, whereas like some games take that and then put their own spin on it and then make it more unique. So that being said, I'm not that interested in like the overall world or concept. The gameplay looks really good, and for this, it started as like a single developer, and now it's like a smaller team. They got a lot of money. It's looking really good, so I'm at least excited to see where it goes, and when it comes out. Did they give a release date for it though?
No release date at all.
Okay. And yeah, for me, I guess that's the only other thing is like, is the game ever going to come out? Because it's been like 8 years, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's just. I think there's still more to learn. So I'm glad that it's not like a release date or something like that. I think there's still more to learn. I think there's still more to show. So overall, I thought the cadence and the gameplay of the trailer was looking good. So that's a really good there. What was I finna talk about? Did you guys see? I know I just saw it. And now I forgot. What was I finna say? Whoa, geez. I forgot. Well, I guess I can go into my other thing. I wanted to see if you guys, dang, it's right there on the tip of my tongue, and I don't remember what I was gonna say. I hate when that happens. You mentioned Armor Core before. Are you picking that up day one?
Unfortunately, yes, I am. It's a single player game that I don't have to play like
yes.
all the way through. But yeah, I'm be juggling multiple games at the same time.
When does this game come out?
The 29th, I think.
Of September or this month?
Like, yeah, this month.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, it does. It comes out August 26th. Oh man.
26th. See, yeah.
Yeah. You tripping, G? Nah, just that's coming out like right there before, right? Yeah, that's like not that far away. Is it the end of this week or next week Tuesday? No, it's Saturday. That's a weird day to drop. That is a super weird day
I'm gonna
to
pick
drop.
up. It is. I thought it was the 29th, but I guess I don't know. But Armor Core is it's more like Forza than it is like Souls games. Obviously, it's going to be made by the same Souls developers, so it's going to have a lot in common. But the missions will be shorter. You spend a lot of time on like customization and like trying to optimize like your robot. So I feel like I'm okay with playing that because it won't require as like much time as something like Elden Ring, where you got to explore every nook and cranny in the world, and like you're gonna be dying against bosses like 50 different times. Armor Core isn't usually like that. It's still difficult, but it's more about like trying out different builds, and then it don't work, just restart the mission and equip something different.
Okay. Well, that's good. I've never played one. Probably not gonna play one, but it looks good, and it looks like at least the people that are interested are gonna have a good time. So it's just a good time for games, man. What can I say? I like games. What can I say? Alan Wake 2, did the official trailer or anything do any move anything for you?
Yeah, but it's not positive. I don't like the live action stuff that they keep trying to do. Like in Quantum Break, obviously, I didn't play Quantum Break. I hear people say it's actually not that bad, but they spend a lot of time with like the live action
main
TV show and stuff like that. In Alan Wake, they didn't have that, and in Control, there were some kind of mixture of like live action stuff, but it was all on like projectors, and it wasn't like actually like full cutscenes where you see a real character. So it depends. I think it'll be still good, but it just kind of worried me that they keep going back to this, where I feel like it's not necessary. Like just them using in-game cinematics for that game would be good enough, I think, to get their core story across. But, yeah. I don't know what it is that they're trying to do with the live action mixture of both, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But other than that, the trailer looked good, at least.
Yeah, it did look good. It looked like they got the budget of the lords, and it looks cool. So I mean, again, it's just like a crazy year for gaming, but I'm glad that at least they are particular. They have a vision. At least Remedy does, and I want to see how it goes. But I don't know. When I saw it, I was kind of the same as you, but I also saw the endings where I was like seeing the gameplay, and I was like, dang, this thing, they trying to blend it and make it look that good. And I was like, okay. I couldn't even, sometimes at some points I couldn't tell whether there was the human or if it was like the game. So I was like, I don't know if they're trying to show me that they're really good with the cinematics, or if they're just trying to keep blending it to the point where you feel like they're inseparable. But I'm like, clearly see that's a human at points. So I mean, I guess it didn't bother me because I did play Quantum Break and I actually did like it. I didn't love it. I just liked it a decent amount. I was like, okay, this isn't as terrible as they made it seem. He was a stiff character, but at least the story, I got it and understood it. So, okay. Anything on the Crew Motorfest? You know it got some heat coming. You know they got some heat, Josh. Them boys over at Ubisoft just be throwing anything at the wall, don't they?
Yeah. I think I haven't seen anything about it. And honestly, I haven't heard anything about it other than the few things you mentioned. And, I mean, that's not good. I don't know if they're marketing it very well.
Well, at least they got September the 14th through the 17th. You can play the Crew Motorfest for free for 5 hours and carry it over into your progression. I think a lot of people are going to have to start doing some type of especially these live service games, to get people in the door. Because it's tough right now. This is like a tough year. Especially for people to give us a game a chance. Oh, it's tough. But yeah, there's a lot happening over here. A lot happening in the gaming industry that is just nice to see. I'm kind of like a kid in a candy store, man. There's so much stuff to you choose from right now that it's just like overwhelming. What else? What else? I really didn't see anything else. I mean, they brought Ice-T out for Payday 3. I mean, it's like, what are y'all doing? There's an audience there for Payday, so you got Payday 3 coming out. Immortals of Avium, they kind of was saying that it's not a bad game. It's kind of like bombastic and all over the place, kind of like a Marvel movie. At least that's what Skill Up was kind of referencing. And it was like more of, fantasy hero taking on the big world, starting from the slums, blah 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 blah, getting a raising up and truly like having these very big moments. But there was some people that were really ripping the game to pieces, and then there was some that just was like, it's okay. So did you ever have this on your radar at all, or was this like a major skip regardless?
I was never interested in it, but I did watch like the review coverage of it, and like, it doesn't seem bad. A lot of people were saying that the combat is fun, like you throwing magic spells around, kind of like Ghostwire Tokyo, kind of, but it's just really really focused on the mechanics and playing the game, and that's fun. I just was not interested in like the world or the characters, so honestly, if it was just like a very, I don't know how to explain it. Like if this had a very simple art style and it was just like an arcade game, I would play it on its gameplay alone. But them asking for full price for this type of game, I'm not that interested in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's tough to be a game this year. It's tough to be a game this
coming
year.
out this month, like no.
It is really tough. But I mean, I really didn't have much else to say on that game because I was just like, yeah, I thought it looked decent, but I was never going to play it, and it's probably going to be if I end up playing it, it'd probably be one of those deep sales. Try it out, see how it goes, like Guardians was, and I still ain't finished it. I know that game is much better than a lot of people gave it credit for. Ghost Runner 2. I didn't know they had a story in that game, to be honest, but they had dropped a story trailer for it. Did you like Ghost Runner 1? Or did you play it?
I played it. I enjoyed it, but it's very, very arcadey, like very difficult. It's just you die and you instantly respawn, so they're going to keep putting you in situations where there's 50 enemies in a room, and you have to memorize the right path to run around the walls and hit people. That being said, it was fun. It was very short. It's like 6 hours. I think I just got stuck like 70% through the game. I'll go back and play it. As far as story, it did have a story, but it wasn't like anything like special. It's just your robot trying to fight the corporate organization. Hopefully they can actually do more with the story, but the gameplay at least was very fun. When did they have when that comes out?
The official release date for this game would be October 26th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that far away. Might pick it up. The first game was $30. If the second was in that range, I might check it out.
What about the Metal Gear Solid collection?
Well, I've already played all those games multiple times, and I'm not going to spend $50 on the exact same release as the old remasters.
Wait a minute, so you're saying you're not interested in buying the game again?
No, thank you.
Oh, man. Well, do I got some news for you, buddy? What else? What else?
The ones that they released for the 360 on that one.
They said it's the Blue Point version, which is the 360/PS3 remakes, and they're not. I mean, they've added like a couple like settings features, like you can add borders because Metal Gear Solid 1 is not going to be 16:9. It's going to be 4:3, but you can add like different backgrounds to the black bars. But like you can do that on emulators. So I don't know who this is for, but sure.
Which version of Metal Gear Solid 1 they gonna add? Twin Snakes or the regular one?
It's the regular Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't know if it has any extra stuff like VR missions or stuff like that, because people are saying it probably doesn't have like the old Apex Escape mini game and stuff like that. But it's PS1 Metal Gear Solid 1.
Want the back controls that make the game hard to play.
Yeah, you might be able to customize the controls a little bit, but yeah, it's the same controls. Metal Gear Solid 2 is pretty much the same, but they added some disclaimers, like some of this stuff might be controversial or outdated. And then 3 is the same as the PS3 version as well, which is Subsistence, which is the good version.
Did they use Substance for Metal Gear Solid 2?
I think Metal Gear Solid 2 was the improved version, if I remember. But I don't know the differences with on Metal Gear Solid 2. 3, they improved the controls and they gave like 2 different camera options, whereas like the original game didn't have that.
Yeah, the first one, imagine playing a game and using R202 to switch your stuff and then holding a gun out and hitting triangle to aim down the sight and then hit a circle to shoot.
Yeah, so that being said, unless you really, really want to play Metal Gear Solid 1 on your PlayStation 5, you can probably play these games for a lot cheaper elsewhere. Because it's backwards compatible on the Xbox. They did release it on PC, so if you bought it on PC at some point, you could play the same games. Yeah, so I'm not gonna buy it. And then they said the Switch version is like worse because all the games run at 30 FPS instead of 60.
Them games originally ran at 60, right?
I don't know about 1, but yeah, 3 and 2 and 3 I think ran at 60.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think. It was something else that I wanted to cover, and now I can't remember. It wasn't Microsoft, but how do you guys feel about the restructured deal? Let me explain what the restructured deal is first. So basically, what Microsoft is planning on doing is selling the rights to stream Activision games to Ubisoft. I don't know what all that entails, but it sounds to me as if they're going to allow Ubisoft to dictate what games and what platform the games are be able to be streamed on. And I'm kind of like, huh? So does that mean that we can't stream it through cloud gaming if they add it to Game Pass, or is it like some stipulation? Or I'm trying to figure out what does it entail for the consumer that Ubisoft will have the control over where games can be streamed.
Yeah, that part I'm confused about too, but they haven't, gone fully into detail because they haven't approved it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But basically what they wanted to stop from happening with Microsoft is that they buy Activision Blizzard and then now all of a sudden Xbox has the best streaming platform for games and they keep all of their games exclusive. So the CMA wanted them to come up with a new deal so that Microsoft doesn't have exclusivity like on most of the streaming game. So them selling the rights to Ubisoft will at least allow Blizzard, Activision games like Call of Duty and stuff to also be on Ubisoft streaming platform or stuff like that. But as far as like further details, we don't know. But Microsoft is trying to show that they're willing to play ball with other streaming platforms. They just announced that some Game Pass games is coming to Nvidia streaming platform. What's that one called? GeForce Now.
GeForce Now, yeah.
Yeah, they put in some Game Pass content on GeForce Now, and probably going to do the same with Ubisoft and whoever else has a streaming platform. That way, they can allow the deal to go through. Which I think for the consumer, ideally, it should just mean the games are available everywhere. But as far as like the fine details about how Ubisoft is going to make decisions, we don't know yet.
Gotcha. Okay, well, there's a lot still going on here, but from my perspective, I think this is a done deal. I think it's just a lot of time wasting that we don't really need to cover, because it's not really truly at this point super game related, because we know it's going to happen. It's just more so about, it's interesting to know about these laws and these mergers and what they kind of mean, and what would cause a deal to be held up, and truly what it looks like if they pull out of UK, which would be funny to me, but obviously that's a big market. So just interesting, just very, 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 very interesting. But yeah, I mean, I really don't have much else, but I mean, I can honestly continue to talk about other stuff. There's plenty of things that kind of happened, and I still can't remember the thing I wanted to talk about, but when I do, we'll talk about it. Anything like that on your mind that we missed? Anything pressing? Anything that you wanted to kind of speak on?
No, not in detail. I was just going to mention a couple of games from GamesCom opening day that looked pretty good. Hyper Light Breaker, which is the same people from Hyper Light Drifter. They have a 3D like co-op action game coming out, but it's going to enter early access soon. I'm personally, I don't play early access, but at least you'll be able to get like a better view of how the game is going to be, because it looks very fun. Like it's a very fantasy, sci-fi, cyberpunk, where you got like flying skateboards and lightsabers and stuff like that. So it looks pretty cool. There was also Zenless Zone Zero, which I don't know if I'll be interested in it, but that's the new big mobile game from the Genshin Impact people.
Didn't they just come out with one?
Yep, and they got another one coming. This one is the anime cyberpunk, and you're going to have cyberpunk bikes and stuff like that. But this one's not an RPG. They're going back to like action combat instead of turn-based. So, you know, that one's going to be making headlines and stealing people's money with the gacha mechanics. Tekken looks weird to me. And I know people like it, but weird in the sense where the trailer, they showed off like some of the story stuff, but they also got like this like create a custom avatar and walk around type thing, and it looks kind of goofy because they look like knees.
I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, I mean the story stuff, you know, Kazuya and everybody fighting. But it was just a weird choice to put those like me avatars in the game. Yeah, that's it for me. Don't care about Assassin's Creed. Grand Blue Fantasy finally has a release date, but I don't think anybody cares. And yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that happened, but there wasn't that much that I was really interested in. Which is fine. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that is already out, but you know, Sonic Frontiers at least got an update. I don't know what's going to happen in this update or what's truly the.
I think they said it's free and it's gonna have some sort of extra story chapter where you're gonna fight like a different boss. And Sonic is gonna get Supersonic 2. He's gonna get a second Supersonic form.
Oh,
But it comes out very soon, I think, within the next couple weeks.
Supersonic 2? Let me find
Yeah.
out, boy.
He got blue eyes
Yep.
instead of red eyes.
Yeah.
And his hair points up instead of, I guess, pointing back.
oh yeah, I see it now. I just watched the trailer.
Let me get some electricity around them, boy.
He do got some electricity around him. He is Super Saiyan.
too.
Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan.
Man. This man just turned into Super Saiyan 2. But yeah, I just okay, well, I mean I really don't want to hold everybody, but I don't really got much else to talk about. Not things that I found it unimportant. There's like the Zack Snyder's new Rebel Moon thing I found interesting. I think the trailer looked pretty cool. But outside of that, you know, I don't really see anything else that I was like needed to see there. Rebel, I think the world that they're building in Zack Snyder is like, you know how he shoot all his stuff, man. Very moody, very dark, and very desolate and gray. A lot of grays. But it looked good though. I just know it's gonna be one of them. But all right, y'all. I want to thank you guys for listening. As always, if you got to this part, you're the real OG. Thank you all for watching or tuning in. However you got here, you are here, and I thank you for it. Anything in last words for the people before we get out of here? Any tips on how to stay focused on these games? Games. You know we love games.
Don't let FOMO get to you. The game is still gonna be there in 2-3 months.
True.
And it's gonna be cheaper.
Oh man, I feel like that's targeted at people, and I don't know. I feel kind of ways, but
I mean,
yeah.
the only exception is online games, and you know they got the season passes and stuff like that to make you buying the FOMO. But the single player games, they're still gonna be there. So
yeah, for sure.
You gotta play everything this year.
Nah, you don't. But all right, I want to thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you all next week. Peace.